Back in the early 2000s, there was a car that quietly became one of the best performance bargains ever made. It didn't have exotic looks like a Ferrari or the prestige of a Porsche, but what it did have was raw speed, incredible engineering, and a reputation that still holds up today. The car was the Chevrolet Corvette C5 Z06. Over 20 years later, this Corvette is still considered one of the greatest performance cars for the money. It's lightweight, brutally fast, and powered by one of the most legendary engines General Motors ever built. So the question is, why is the C5 Z06 still such a monster today? The birth of the C5 Z06. When Chevrolet introduced the C5 generation of the Chevrolet Corvette in 1997, it was already a huge step forward for the brand. The car had a completely new chassis, better weight distribution, and a more refined driving experience. But in 2001, Chevrolet decided to take things further. They created the Z06, a track-focused version of the C5 that was designed to compete with some of the best sports cars in the world. To keep weight down, Chevrolet removed unnecessary luxury features and focused on performance. The car came with a fixed hardtop body, stiffer suspension, bigger brakes, and a more aggressive setup overall. The result was a Corvette that felt sharper, faster, and far more serious than the standard model. The legendary LS6 engine. The heart of the C5 Z06 is its engine, the LS6. This naturally aspirated V8 was based on the already excellent LS1 engine, but Chevrolet engineers improved it in almost every way. The LS6 had stronger internal components, improved airflow, and a more aggressive camshaft. In 2001, it made 385 horsepower, which was already impressive. But by 2002, Chevrolet pushed it even further to 405 horsepower. For the early 2000s, that was serious power. Even today, a car with over 400 horsepower that weighs just over 3,100 pounds is still very quick. The LS6 also became legendary because it's incredibly reliable and extremely modifiable, which is why so many enthusiasts still love these cars today. Performance that still holds up. What really makes the C5 Z06 impressive is how well its performance holds up even by modern standards. The car can go 0 to 60 in around 4 seconds and run the quarter mile in the low 12-second range. That kind of performance used to be supercar territory. The car was also incredible on a track. Thanks to its near 50-50 weight distribution and rigid chassis, the C5 platform handled far better than older Corvettes. In fact, the C5 Z06 became a dominant force in racing. The race version, the Chevrolet Corvette C5 R, went on to win major endurance races and prove that the Corvette platform could compete with the best sports cars in the world. That racing DNA helped cement the Z06 as something more than just a fast Corvette. It was a legitimate performance machine. Why it's such a good deal today? Another reason the C5 Z06 is so respected today is the value. While many performance cars from the early 2000s have become expensive collector cars, the C5 Z06 is still relatively affordable. For the price of a used economy car, you can get a lightweight sports car, over 400 horsepower, rear-wheel drive, and a 6-speed manual transmission. And most importantly, you get one of the best V8 engines ever made. Cars like the Porsche 911, 996, or the BMW M3 E46 from the same era are great, but they often cost more to maintain and modify. The Corvette, on the other hand, is famous for being relatively cheap to own and easy to work on. More than 2 decades after it was released, the Chevrolet Corvette C5 Z06 still proves that great performance doesn't always need huge horsepower numbers or modern technology. Sometimes all it takes is a lightweight chassis, a legendary engine, and a focus on driving. And that's exactly why the C5 Z06 is still considered one of the greatest performance bargains ever made.